Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jared. Today we're taking the Civic back to the dyno for the second time. First time it didn't make quite as much power as I thought, and we hypothesized that the muffler, the twin loop muffler, might have been too restrictive. So I went ahead and got a K-tuned muffler, which you would have seen me install in another video. And that's a straight through design, so hopefully it'll pick up a bit of airflow in the exhaust. I also had this weird idle issue which I thought was a vacuum leak, so I went and changed the intake manifold gasket as well, and I bought one of those thermal insulating gaskets, so potentially I might be able to pick up 1 or 2 kilowatts from that gasket as well. And then finally we're going to have a go at dialing in the cam gears, because the old owner said the engine was never degreed, so we're going to play around with the intake and the exhaust and try and get as much horsepower out of it as possible.
The fact that we didn't pick up much. But I'll be honest, with cams, like, especially if they're good quality ones, they shouldn't be that far off. Like Brian Crower, like, it's not uncommon for them to be like 10 degrees out, so it's pretty common to have issues with them. But lost 3 up the top.
So just wrapping up this video, we ended up making another 4 kilowatts. I'm not sure whether that was just due to the weather on the day, but straight off the bat with the intake manifold gasket and the exhaust, even changing the ignition timing and the fuel, we didn't pick up any horsepower. It was exactly the same, 112 kilowatts, same as last time. In fact, I think it said 110, so it was 2 kilowatts less with those mods. So for that reason, I'm actually going to put the other muffler back on because it is a lot quieter. This one is just way too loud. And then after that, we started getting into the cam timing and degreeing. So we'd done the exhaust, it didn't really do anything. Then we got onto the intake, and then we started noticing that changing the timing in the computer wasn't making any difference. And then we decided to reshoot base timing. And when we tried to do that, the crank was moving around too much, or the timing was wandering too much to get an accurate setting for that. And then we thought, oh, let's just check mechanical timing. So you've seen in the video, we turned the engine over just to check that everything was timed, and it was good, no issues there. And then we thought, oh, let's change the distributor because I had the original one on the car. And we were changing that over, and I picked up the one we took off, and the rotor button just fell off. And I was like, what? Like, isn't it supposed to be screwed on the shaft? And then I looked inside the plastic housing and it was all chewed out. So the screw that holds the rotor button on had come loose and spun around, chewed out all the plastic, and fortunately it was sitting still in the cap. So we were able to retrieve that screw, and thankfully it only damaged some of the plastic, but we think that rotor button was wiggling around and actually sliding in and out. So if you have a distributor on your car, I'd recommend you check that screw and even Loctite it, because we were losing like about 5 or 6 kilowatts up the top there with that ignition timing retarding and advancing. So we're able to make one distributor out of the 2, and I'm going to go back and Loctite that screw in as well. But after that, we then just went back and confirmed our timing on the exhaust and the intake again, that it was correct, and that the screw coming loose happened after we were doing that. And then finally we ended up picking up about 4 kilowatts, or on that day actually like 6 kilowatts, because we started at 110. Overall, it is a bit disappointing to have not really gotten anywhere with the amount of money spent on the new intake manifold gasket, the muffler and the dyno time. But at least I can tick off that box that there's nothing else wrong, and that it's just maybe that dyno reads a little bit lower than the other one it was on. The car still drives really well, and I think for what it is, it actually does make quite decent power, and I think it's more than the 116 kilowatts that dyno says. In the future, will I do anything differently? There is still the potential to pick up a bit of horsepower maybe from some different headers, because I'm not sure how great those unbranded headers are that I have on the car at the moment. And the old owner did have a different pair of headers on it before, which maybe were made slightly different power, but I can't see it picking up 10 kilowatts just from a set of headers. These don't look that bad, that restrictive. So if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.